Alright, welcome back, and I've been chipping away here, getting all this exterior removed, and I was absolutely shocked at how little holds the front of the car to the back of the car. And so what's doing that job is this part here. It's called the front clip, and it's bolted to the body with 2 bolts up the front here and then 2 bolts down the back. And that's, yeah, pretty well much all that's really keeping things held together. But obviously it's been working perfectly fine for the last however many years before I came along and got scared. So I guess we'll just leave it at that. So the cool thing now is that with the diff taken out of the back, I can get that 10-inch wide rim with the 265 tyre and kind of slot it in there, then like lower the car right down over it, because you know that's what's fun to do. And I reckon it looks pretty cool, so I'll chuck up some footage and you guys see what you reckon. Of course, the actual reality of getting that 10-inch wide rim in there, whole nother video. While I'm at it, just sort of mucking around, I might as well chuck these wire wheels under there as well, and I'll see how that looks. I'll put up those photos at the end of the video. So no real problems with the front end. It's just a case of kind of tracking down the bolts and taking them out. The good thing is that each part's quite big when you take it off, so you kind of feel like you're making good progress as you go. I've had a real good run with bolts, nothing too seized or too rusty. Unfortunately though, the trouble would begin for me when I got down to the sill mouldings. Okay, so what I was doing there was just grinding little slots into the bolts and then using a flathead screwdriver to turn them out, because about half of them were just too rusty in the socket. Hex socket just keeps spinning around, and they're quite shallow little hex heads as well, so I just couldn't get a grip on them. I wouldn't normally use a 9-inch grinder to do that job, but I lent out my little small one, so I kind of had to use the big dog here. So the next move was to pull out the engine and the transmission, and I needed a little bit of help with this one, so I was lucky enough to be able to get my dad to come give me a hand. So often when I'm talking to people, they don't really understand why I would spend the money and the amount of work and effort into restoring this car. And the reason is this right here, you know, it's a pretty rare opportunity to be able to work on the car that I grew up in as a kid, you know, with my dad all this time later. And this is what makes this build, I think, so worthwhile and so much more special. So last bit of the mission was to pull out this front bit of chassis, and I so nearly had a shocker here. I left a whole lot of stuff in the boots and wheels and tyres, and you can kind of see I've got those rear axle stands probably just a little bit too far forward. I was undoing the last bolt and I could see it starting to tip backwards. So luckily I kind of noticed it, chucked a few blocks under the back of the tow bar. Okay, so these rims are called appliance wires. They're like made in Japan in 1974. They've probably got a slightly classier look about them, but I'm kind of leaning towards those other chrome ones, so let me know what you guys reckon. The other really cool thing is that Paul, the guy that's taking on this challenge and doing all the rust repair work, he's keen as he's going to come here and kind of explain what's involved in his side of the build. And he reckons he's going to cut the entire 2 rear quarters of the car off to repair them. So I don't know how the hell he's going to do that, but I'm really looking forward to finding out how. Okay, so that's pretty much it now for the exterior removal. There's a few little bits and pieces I need to take off. I probably could have had all that done if I hadn't spent so much time with lowering over the rims and seeing how that looks. But that's what's fun at this end of the build, because being able to do that for real is just so far away. So you know how it is. Anyway, thank you for watching and see you in the next one.